Welcome to Analyze It. In this video, we will be talking about Excel and Power Query with inner joint. More specifically, we will see what is Power Query, what inner joint does, and finally, in Excel, we will create a new table that brings only matching rows from two tables, meaning we will implement an inner joint operation in Excel via Power Query. First, let's see what is Power Query. Um, Often your data, your table, your data set sit on different type of data source. It can be on the web, it can be on the cloud, or your data can sit on a server like SQL, or even you can have your table, your data set sitting on your personal computer. So Power Query will allow you to extract this data table or data set wherever it's sitting, and then do some transformation and shaping. You transform the data and you make some shaping so that it respond to your need. And then once you are done with your transformation and shaping, you can load this data into a structured format like this. Meaning that you can structure your data in a way that you have different variable. For example, in that case, you have variable one in the first column, variable two in the second column, and each data point or observation are put in row. So basically, Power Query is an engine allowing you to do data transformation and preparation. And as I just explained, it comes with a graphical interface for extracting data from your sources, perform transformation, and load data into a structured format. Meaning, Power Query allows you to do simple ETL, extract, transform, and load. The good thing with Power Query is that once you know Power Query, you can use it in Excel, Power BI, Microsoft DataServe, and even Microsoft Azure. Now, let's see what is in a joint and how we can use it. And for that, let me take a scenario where you're working for a private company where you are selling two type of products, product A and product B. Or you can be, for example, a project manager where your project is delivering two type of services, service A and service B. And for each um, product, you have a data set giving you your customer or giving you the date, and the amount of product by each of your customers. For example, you can see in product A, this first guy has with ID number one has bought the amount of 60, and this guy in product B has bought this amount. Now, one of the things that you may want as a project manager or as a sales manager is the name or the customer who bought both products. So to do that, what you can do, you can basically go in your customer ID and define or look for the intersection of both products. Meaning you will look at all the customer ID in product A and customer ID in product B, and look for the intersection of both um, um, data set in terms of customer ID to generate you this kind of table. You can do that because you have a unique ID, and you have unique ID in both tables. So you will sort or you will look at the intersection on that. And you can see, for example, this guy, this ID number one, is present in both table, and then it will return and this is the intersection, and then it will return this table for you. So this is what you can do using Power Query. You can do this. You can do an inner joint with Power Query. So let's now move on my Excel to do a practical example on how you can do an inner joint with Power Query. See you there. Okay, now I have my Excel file open. So let's bring our data, or let's load, or let's get our data from Power Query. So the thing to go to Power Query, so the thing that you need to do, you click data, and then to get the first, we're going to bring our data set. I have right now, based on my example, two data set. So let's click on get data. And here you can see that you can bring different you can bring data from different sources. For example, you can bring it from, if you click on from file, you have plenty of option from XML, JSON, Excel, PDF, and you can even go to Azure, as I was saying. You can also bring from Power BI. So there is a bunch of option that you can use. So because my data sets are sitting on my desktop and they are these data set are Excel files, so let's go to from file and choose from Excel workbook. And I click Excel workbook, and it will and from there I can choose and I can look for the location of where my data set is sitting. So this is, we can go and select your data set from your local computer. Let's do that. So now that I located where my data set are sitting, so let's bring my first data set, which is called customer A. So I click on customer A, and then I click import. It will connect Power Query to my data set. So you see here, I need to click on customer, and then I will have a preview. So I don't need to right now to load it. I am going to click on transform data, and it will open this data set customer A, which is basically a table in my Power Query. I click transform data. Always click transform data when you are doing in a joint, or when you want to transform your data set. Click, and then now you can see a Power Query editor window is open. So you can see first at the center there is the table. Here there is the query, and you can see in the query pane there's customer, the table that is I just imported, and each step in my transformation that I will apply to that query will be listed in the applied step. And here, this is where you can change the name of your data set. So now that I have my first data set, which is customer A, in my Power Query, let's bring the second data set. And for that, we'll go to New Source, and then File. And again, you can look for the second data set anywhere or from any sources. But again, because my second data set is an Excel data set sitting on my personal computer, so I just click Excel. And again, I will choose now customer B and import. And you will see it will be the customer B in my as my second query. So I have to click customer B, and again, as my first table, I have a preview. But because I'm already in Power Query, it doesn't show me load or transform. So I just click on OK, and you will see it will bring my second table in my query. So I have my first query, customer A and customer B. So guys, when you are clicking on any of the queries, any step or changes that you are doing will be you will see it here, and it will be referring to the query that you're applying these changes. So let's find the intersection between the two tables. So now, because I am on customer A, so what I want to do is going to merge query. It's not appending. Appending is different from merging. So we will merge it, but we will merge it as, and because we will merge the two tables, we want to create a third table. So we have to say merge as new query. Okay, so what Power Query does, it has selected customer A as my first table, and then we're going to choose the second table, customer B. Now we have the two tables that we want to merge. We want to tell Power Query which kind of merging that we want to do. Remember, we want to do the intersection. So we go to that section here, join kind, and we select inner joint, and we see that the inner joint is only matching rows. So we click inner joint so that we get the intersection between the two tables. Now that we have our table and we have defined the type of joint that we want to do, we need to tell Power Query which variable that we want to use to find the intersection between the two tables. Remember that we said that we want to use customer ID. So we just basically click customer ID here and customer ID in the second table. So we see, for example, here, Power Query is telling us the selection match one of three rows. So that means it says I have three rows, right, in each of my in my table, but there is one column, one row we can match, which is basically this one because we know it, and we just click OK. All right, so you see that it has created the third table, and I can change the name of that table. Let's say I want to call it both table. This is the name that I want to create for my table. And then I click my enter or my mouse. Okay, so that now I'm done with the transformation in Power Query. But any step or any changes that you're doing in Power Query, you need to apply it. So I go to load in file and then click close and load. And now you can see in your Excel, this table has been created, which is the merge table, the intersection, and it has also providing me customer B table and customer A table. And I'm still having the query connection here, and I can at any time go in my table here to do any changes or transformation that I want. Now that I have my new Excel, I just need to save it on my personal computer and call it, for example, tutorial, and save it. All right, it was so simple like that. Here is the way that you can merge, do an inner joint with Excel using Power Query. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you will find it very useful for you and you have enjoyed. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be releasing more video on Power Query and how to do quick ETL in Power Query in Excel. Take care.